What's up YouTube, Dart here from Zephyr War Games, and today I am bringing you a version that a lot of people have been asking me a lot of questions about, and that is the DarkWorld Stein profile. So this deck actually revolves around Stein. Yes, it isn't one. There are a lot of ways that we are digging for this one, and it allows you to kind of cheese out cards like Naturia Exo, obviously the Last Warrior. It could also cheese out your Grapha Dragon if you really wanted it to as well. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take you through this profile, show you exactly everything we've got, explain why we've got it. If you want to see a Mechanico version of this deck, and trust me, it is spicy as hell, then make sure you smash that like button, get this video to at least 50 likes in the first 24 hours, and I will bring that for you as well. So let's start off with the pretty boring part of this, and it's the standard lineup of your DarkWorld. So triple Rainbow, triple Grapha, triple Snow. You could also add in trading if you wanted to this version, but personally, I'm kind of happy with the way it is at the moment. If you want to see a test video of this deck as well, of course, let me know in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to do so. So we've got the one gold, the one cerulean, the one silver, the one beige, and we've added back the one brow. Now, the reason we've added back the one brow is, like I said, you play a couple of one-offs, and one of them being Stein. So this is your most important card. Now, keep in mind, this doesn't need to trigger on a normal summon or a special summon or anything like that, which is one benefit of a deck like this, is it has a lot of draw cards in the sense of something like a Lore. If you wanted to, you could go trading. You've also got the ability of Foolish Burying it, reviving it. You've got a couple of cards like Cross Sheep and, of course, your Daguerres, Daguerres that can revive it as well. So you've got a lot of consistent ways to get to it and bring it back from the graveyard. So even if you do discard it off of a danger, you still have ways to make it work. The idea is that if you get into a Naturia Exo, your opponent is really going to struggle to deal with it, and it means that you basically negate all spells and traps that they play, and you're going to be using stuff like Appaloosa, your Hope Harbinger to protect your Naturia, and then of course you've also got Appaloosa to deal with monster effects, and you've got the Grapha Dragon to deal with monster effects as well. So continuing with our power one-offs, we do play the one Armageddon Knight. And this is just a way that if you normal summon it, you can Foolish Burial the Stein, or just getting it to the board. Allows you to put this in the graveyard, and then like I said, you've got more consistent ways from your extra deck to bring back the Stein. So you want to kind of be able to give you as many technical copies or something like this. Yes, it is a bit risky putting this card in the graveyard, because if they buy steal it, you probably cry a little inside, but that's just the adaptive way of this deck. Another normal summon that we have is the Photon Skyblaster. Now, the reason we make the Photon Skyblaster is because it's just a really nice normal summon that can give you a quicker route into something like Yugioh. Now, the issue with the Skyblaster, which I haven't highlighted in the extra deck as yet, is that it can sometimes make you play the Link Spider in order to make it as consistent and as effective as possible. But that's when you can start utilising something like a Cross Sheep, because Skyblaster isn't going to directly get you to a Stein. We are still playing the dangers because they are ways of being board clearance in options going second. They are also very good for going first to draw through and try and get you to your Stein. It can be risky if you discard the Stein off of a danger, but the chances are if you've got to a Stein already, you're just going to normal summon it and continue in plays from there. It can be very good. The only thing you need to be very careful of is if you normal summon a Stein and then use this effect straight away, that's your Exterio, and then they can still Nibiru you. Obviously, Nibiru is something you need to play. You can play for a little bit later on. And on the other downside of something like Stein, it is pay 5,000 life points as cost. So it is very costly, but it's something you can be looking at too. It's also something you could easily look into when you look at gold prides coming out as well, because you could activate a Stein, bring out any kind of fusion monster you want. Your life points are always going to be low on your opponents, and you just keep going and going and going. Danger Nessie at 2, Danger Mothman at 2, 1 Jack, 1 Snake. Now, you can change these up however you want. The reason I've gone with a 2, 2, and 2, arguably this could be a 1, is you still want the ability to draw through your deck. The reason the 8 is quite important is you actually want the ability to try and get into your Coach King, because like I've said, there are ways of, you need to try and get to your Stein. The idea of this deck is to get to Stein. I'm not saying it is the best version of DarkWorld around. It's just a version that a lot of people have asked me questions of, why are people playing Naturia Exo? Why are people playing Last Warrior? How do they get to it? How do you play it? Well, this is the way you get to it. It is very costly, and it's one of them cards you probably play turn like game 1, and then game 2 and 3 you side them out completely, or you change up your strategy. For the last one, we've got the one Blackwing Zephyros Elite and then the one Salamander. Salamander could arguably be considered at 2 for the pure fact that just Salamander plus something like a beige gets you into a Daguerres, which is the ability to either draw into Stein or revive Stein from grave. So like you said, you're trying to give yourself as many options as possible. The safer route is to draw into Stein. The riskier route is to put him into the graveyard and utilise cards like Monster Reborn as well. For the spells, again, pretty standard on this one. 2 Ascension, 2 Gates, 1 Archives, 2 Talents, 2 Allure, and the 1 Monster Reborn. And like I said, the Monster Reborn is purely in here for Cyberstein. It can be used for your level 8s if you're like, you know what, I'm going to risk this and draw into it. I'm going to Monster Reborn at level 8 and then just going to overlay all of those into a Coach King. You can do as well. It's a very specific version of this deck, and it's just something to kind of give you guys a different look on. So let's look over our fusions. So the 2 fusions we play, well, technically 3, is the 1 Natura Exo, the 1 Last Warrior, and then we've got the 2 Grepher Dragons. So not only can you naturally summon the Grepher Dragons, but you do have the ability to cheese it out. Now, Last Warrior destroys the entire board, and then neither player can special summon, so you just go for a very, very simplified 2350 boss monster play, which can be incredibly powerful against Kashtira's, because it's like, bruh, what are you going to do? On top of that as well, Exo is basically, you banish a card from your graveyard when your opponent activates a spell or trap card, negate it, and you send a card from the top of your deck to the graveyard. So it's constantly looping back its own materials and resource. So, and that's where you kind of need like an Appaloosa to protect it or block it. And another card that you can use to make sure it doesn't just get punched in the face is the Hope Harbinger, because it just redirects the attack. Alongside a Giant Trainer, so your Coach King is just ways of drawing into the Cyberstein. Then if you got your rank 4s, you've got your Abyss Dweller, your Daguerres, and your Baguska. So if you're on the Shifter, the ability to kind of draw into a Cyberstein and move your plays further forward from there as well. Then got Cross Sheep, so a way to bring back and the way to revive a Cyberstein. You've then, of course, got your IP with your Unicorn. And then your level 4s are Saruja, Appaloosa, and then of course the final Underworld Goddess. This could very easily be a second Saruja. There is a way and mathematical ways of being able to kind of loop your deck, draw into more to get to your Cyberstein, but it's just very, very risky. Again, it can require a lot to do. You will take up an additional amount of time in your turn, but it is something that you could consider. These are just showing you a couple of options that you can use. You can adapt the extra deck. You can go more targets for your Cyberstein. The chances are, unless you're going to play the Psychic spell, I believe, which I think it turns all of your monsters into Psychic, or you need DNA surgery, and basically you don't pay life points to activate Psychic effects. It's like a very old combo that was used for Cyberstein. Or the other option is that you need to find a way of gaining a huge amount of life points back after you've activated it to then use it again. So it's very specific. It is a very, very niche route of taking this deck. It's a route that the deck was being utilised before. But the idea is what you kind of want to do is you want to get your Grepher Dragon out first, and then you want to protect your Cyberstein, because the last thing you want to do is pay 5,000 life points just to have your Cyberstein like smacked in the face by an Imperm, especially with Imperms being even more increasing in popularity for the upcoming format. But it's just a version that I haven't had the chance to kind of put together for you guys as of yet. I wanted to kind of show you in a very short, sweet, simple video. Like I said at the start, if you want to see a more competitive version involving the Mekanko, and the Mekanko card is actually really, really cool for this day, I can't wait to actually test it out and try it myself, then smash that like button, get it up to 50 likes in the first 24 hours, and I will bring that to you guys directly. For now, as absolutely always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, stay safe, and of course, happy dueling.